This is your WLAK Daily News Roundup for Lake Air, 107.5 FM and 1260 AM in Amory.
Civic Media News, I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. A Rockford, Illinois man faces 13 charges for Wednesday afternoon's killing spree. 4 people were killed with a baseball bat and a knife. 7 more are badly hurt. Rockford Police Chief Carla Redd.
This cuts you at the root. I can't imagine what the families are going through.
Christian Soto admits to killing a friend, the friend's mother, a mail carrier, and a teenage girl in a span of about 20 minutes. All the rain and snow Wisconsin got in the past week are alleviating drought conditions in many parts of the state. It was the first time in 2 years that March rain totals were above average. Much of Wisconsin has been in a drought since 2022, including the entire state last year. Wisconsin is getting $12 million to pay for mental health efforts in public schools. The State Department of Public Instruction says it'll distribute the federal funding to 40 school districts. State School Superintendent Jill Underly says the money will help schools pay for resources and staff. Donald Trump supporters in southeast Wisconsin are trying again to get a recall election against Republican State Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. Recall organizers filed the paperwork yesterday. Now they're saying Vos should be recalled because of his support of the Chinese Communist Party. Vos has called the recall leaders whack jobs and morons. Wisconsin's Revenue Secretary is stepping down soon. Peter Barca was first appointed in 2019. He'll leave office April 9th. Before that, he represented the Kenosha area in the state assembly in the U.S. House. He worked in the Small Business Administration during the Clinton administration. Healthcare providers are signing people up in Wisconsin for Medicare and Medicaid. Dr. Gina Williams is with United Healthcare. She says a dual-eligible special needs plan is for people who need more help.
From managing your wellness to managing your behavioral health needs and then everyday needs.
Christine Huberty is with the Greater Wisconsin Agency on Aging Resources. She says it's mostly for older people with disabilities.
First and foremost, look at the provider network restrictions and look at what's available in your area.
But only about 3 in 10 people who qualify for dual-eligible special needs plans were enrolled in 2021. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly. If you're a Northlands resident who is really missing football season, you'll have a chance to see a game in the coming months. The new arena football team in Duluth, the Harbor Monsters, are now scheduled to play their first preseason game on May 25th at 7 p.m. at the Duluth Entertainment Convention Center. Following the preseason game, the full season will get underway on June 1st, although the team will not play their first official home game until June 23rd. Tickets can be pre-ordered on the team's website. The University Education Association and the University of Minnesota Duluth have come to an agreement on a new contract after almost a year of negotiations. According to a Northern News Now report, university faculty were fighting for better job security and to stop the university from increasing the number of courses professors could teach without receiving additional pay. The new 3-year contract must be voted on by the University Education Association and the University of Minnesota Board of Regents. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has announced new funding will be available to feed students in need over the summer. After receiving approval from the United States Department of Agriculture, Wisconsin will be the first state in the country to receive federal approval for a summer EBT program. School officials say the meals that kids receive at school, particularly the food insecure kids, is essential in their development. The program will ensure kids who may not have adequate food access outside of school will still be able to eat. While graduation rates across the state of Minnesota are largely declining, 2 Duluth schools actually saw an increase. According to a Northern News Now report, graduation rates at Denfield High School rose by 1.3% and graduation rates at East High School rose by 2.2%. School officials credited the success of their extracurricular courses for the increase in graduation rates, while also noting they believe the COVID-19 pandemic has played a large part in the overall declining rates in the state. A $13 million housing project officially broke ground in Ladysmith this week. According to a WQOW report, the Lindu School Apartments and Townhomes project broke ground on Thursday afternoon after years of planning. The project would renovate Ladysmith's former elementary school and create 40 new housing units. In addition to converting the former classrooms into housing units, the project will also include a skate park and an ADA-accessible playground. The project should be finished this year. Oakleaf Medical Network has announced that it will open 4 new healthcare clinics in the Chippewa Valley. According to a press release, the organization will open 4 new clinics in Cornell, Ladysmith, Menominee, and Rice Lake. The announcement comes nearly a week following the official closure of HSHS Sacred Heart Hospital in Eau Claire and St. Joseph's Hospital in Chippewa Falls. The clinics in Cornell and Ladysmith are scheduled to open on May 1st. The clinics in Menominee and Rice Lake will both be open by May 13th. The Union Gospel Mission is calling on Duluth residents to donate blankets with the return of typical winter weather. According to a Fox 21 report, Union Gospel Mission officials say their blanket stock has been completely depleted due to the winter storm earlier this week, and with the warming center and Chum typically being full, some people have been forced to sleep outside. Residents can drop off blankets and other donations at the Union Gospel Mission Monday to Thursday from 9 to 5:30 or Friday from 9 to 1. Law enforcement authorities are investigating the death of a woman in the city of Ladysmith. According to the Ladysmith Police Department, authorities received a report of a woman found lying in the snow on Wednesday morning around 8 a.m. When officers responded, they found the woman dead in the snow. The death is being investigated with the Rusk County Coroner's Office, but authorities say there's no evidence of foul play or an ongoing threat to the community. The woman was not identified. And that's what you need to know. For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly.
The Bucks lose in the Big Easy. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks lost to the Pelicans, 107-100. New Orleans led by as much as 18 and played a very physical kind of game. The Bucks' Malik Beasley had 6 3-pointers, but it wasn't enough.
I don't know, it was a tough game, so it doesn't really matter if we lose. I like winning. I'd rather hit 1 3 than hit whatever I hit and win. So it's frustrating, but, we'll finish the season off right.
They play the Hawks in Atlanta tomorrow night. College basketball, the Badgers women's team with a decisive win over Illinois State, 86-61. They advanced to the Great 8 in the WNIT. Wisconsin's Sanya Copeland leading with 18 points. Baseball, the Brewers open the season in New York against the Mets. Pat Murphy on what he's learned going from being the bench coach to becoming the team's manager.
The game's evolving, and it behooves you to evolve with it. But, my eyes have been wide open.
That's Brewers manager Pat Murphy. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Don't you love sequels? Especially when they're spread over a couple decades so the characters actually look older and fatter? Speaking of which, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are back in Bad Boys 4. The status of the project was up in the air after Smith slapped Oscar host Chris Rock a couple years ago. Luckily, mega producer Jerry Bruckheimer says everyone deserves forgiveness, especially when it makes him a lot of loot. FYI, if Smith ever wants to slap an Oscar host again, he'll have to hope he bumps into Jimmy Kimmel while out running errands, as he has been banned from the Oscars for 10 years. Also, Bad Boys 4 will most likely never get close to an Oscar nomination. Easter weekend at the box office welcomes the new Liam Neeson film to theaters, and The Land of Saints and Sinners opens Friday. My guess is Neeson plays a killer with a heart. As with every Liam Neeson film, there appears to be family, revenge, and killing, but this time it's in the Irish countryside. Reviews so far are favorable. With Liam Neeson, you pretty much know what you're going to get. If you're a Prince fan, get ready to go crazy. Us Weekly reports that The Hollywood Reporter reports that there is a script for a new Prince musical movie project in the works. Ryan Coogler, the filmmaker behind Black Panther and Creed, has reportedly been working on the project since 2018. No one is attached yet to play the role of Prince, but there is a certain host of Nightlight with Pete Schwaba who would love an opportunity. Prince died at his home in 2016 at the age of 57. The raid on music producer Sean Combs' houses has caused quite a stir. Authorities searched his mansions in Miami and Los Angeles due to suspicions of sex trafficking. One of Combs' Beverly Hills neighbors, 86-year-old Academy Award-winning director Ridley Scott, could not even get into his home due to police presence during the search. No arrests were made, but police still have more of Diddy's properties to search. To be clear, Sean Combs is not accused of sex trafficking Ridley Scott. HBO's Bill Maher is creating a podcast network. Deadline reports that the host of Real Time and Club Random podcast will launch a new cast starting with sports journalist Sage Steele. Maher says he wants to feature celebrities who want to branch out and talk about something different and feature real unedited discussions. Maher is excited to be working with Sage Steele because he says, like him, she also ticked off Disney. In keeping your head above water news, remember Good Times, the TV show set in 1970 Chicago in the Cabrini Green housing project? Well, Norman Lear's groundbreaking sitcom is getting an animated reboot. Deadline reports that the new look Good Times will drop April 12th on Netflix. The show will star J.B. Smoove, Yvette Nicole Brown, and Jay Farrow. Character descriptions sound very similar to the original Evans family, except in the reboot there is a drug-dealing infant. How do you not watch that? For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, every night between 7 and 9 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
There may be a little patchy fog in a few spots this morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy today. We'll get to 48 for a high this afternoon, with clouds increasing by late this afternoon and a few showers possible overnight tonight. Our low tonight, 33. Tomorrow, cloudy, 46. Easter Sunday, mostly cloudy with a late day shower and a high of 48. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently, it's 23.
That's your WLAK Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at lakeair.radio.